It is high time I review arguably the greatest mod ever made for Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance. The Demon Expansion mod is one of the best mods for a Mega 10 game. It adds a whole host of new demons, skills, encounters, and battles. I was waiting for this mod to fill out all of the slots in SMTV's code, but it offers so much, I need to get this out there. I'll be going over all the features of this mod, what it brings to the table, and how it could change your next playthrough of Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance. This mod adds over 100 new demons to the game. Some are mentioned in the game's files but were never used nor have models, some are familiar faces from other games, and some are wholly unique as they have never had a 3D model until this mod. All of these new demons range from fairly powerful for their level to absurdly overpowered. A truly fair and balanced roster. If you think these demons are going to outshine the existing ones, do not worry, as many of them also got buffed with new skills. For example, Norn has a new support skill that boosts all allies' stats by 1 and makes their next action cost 0 MP except for self. Dionysus can give Omagatoki critical to one ally and recover some MP. Lakshmi sets all allies attack to +2 and recovers a bit of MP. Maria can not only use a weaker Eternal Prayer that does not heal incapacitated, that only costs magic instead of Magatsuhi, but also has a passive skill called the Miracle of Fatima, which renders her immune to all status ailments and gives her the great Life Spring effect. Daisojo has Samsara, a light element version of Die For Me. Mods can end the player phase to add one full press turn to the next player phase. Addon has a new counter innate that reduces her attacker's stats by 1 and overheals the whole party if she guards, resists, or nulls an attack. And then there's Cleopatra. Not only did she have her resistances restored from the original SMT5, Frolic also got its price reduced to match the original, and she got a new innate that not only boosts the damage against enemies that have ailments, but also counters any elements she resists or nulls with energy drain. These are not the only examples, there are many more, but these are just the ones that I wanted to point out to show how much of a power dynamic the new demons brought and how much the old demons need to catch up.
I'll run you through!
The new demons are not just limited to fusions either. Some of them even appear in the wild. The earliest examples are Harpy and Kaneko's Angel replacing the Zen in Minato. There are many new demons that spawn inside of Shakan and Ariok's castle. A lot more variety was added to the spawns in Taito to make the area feel more like a war zone than just having Lugaroos all over the place, along with maybe a few Cerberus. Something special about these new encounters involves mechanics not seen in the game. For one, some demons only appear during battle and cannot spawn out in the wild. Take Gremry for example. She could show up whenever you encounter a Mahama Yuri, but she is never seen out in the wild. While that's not the only example, that's just the one my chat pointed out when I was showcasing this mod. Another is the inability to negotiate with some demons. With the Angel encounter, you can't recruit Doi's Angel via talking, they will refuse you like a boss or Mitama, but Kaneko's Angel is willing to talk and can be recruited. Finally, unique spawns. Despite Chiyoda and Shinjuku having the same spawn tables, they are unique from one another. For example, with this mod, you can find Divine Virtue in Chiyoda and Megami Sati in Shinjuku, neither of which could spawn in the other area, meaning you would either have to fuse them or play through the other game's canon to get your hands on them. Many new skills that any demon can use have been added with this mod. The most recent skills to be added to this list are known as True Dynes. These are variants of the single target Dyne spells that have the ability to always land as a critical hit if the Dyne's element has magic crits enabled. This makes Divine Decree demons like Lamu a lot more useful, since there is a way to guarantee a critical hit and force a press turn without having to run Omagatsuki critical. There are new spells for the 4 primary elements that now land 4 to 8 times, similar to Magma Axis, just without the ability to pierce. And there are 2 new spells for Light and Dark, Violet Flash and Allure, which now act as the 2 to 5 attack element for those spells specifically. There is also a new physical skill, Vorpal Blade, that is basically Super Titan Machina, as it has a near 50% crit rate. All of these spells can be randomly learned from Demon Hawk conversations or leveling up if you have the miracle that lets demons learn skills randomly when they level up. Sad thing about all these new skills is that the Nahobino cannot actually obtain any of them, since they are all locked to demons that cannot give their essences, which contain those specific skills. While the Nahobino cannot learn any of these new, amazing, and borderline unfair skills, he still does have access to some new stuff in the game. Specifically, the Element Survivors, the Element Avatars, and Allure of Wisdom, as well as a unique skill for him called Awakened Power. Element Survivors are regular Clamoras that grant the Endure effect and do not stack with Endure, but they can stack with Enduring Soul. Avatar is a regular Plomora that adds 60% more power to a critical hit if you have Critical Zealot. If you do not have Critical Zealot, then a critical hit will deal 60% less damage. This was nerfed from its original implementation, as avatars used to give a 160% damage boost upon crit. However, if comboed with Critical Zealot, that would be a whopping 310% more damage per crit, making monsters like Asheth, Masakato, and anybody else who can crit frequently literally killing machines who can one-shot bosses. Allure of Wisdom makes its triumphant return from Persona 5, though here it works a lot differently. You can still get it off of Devil Lucifer's essence, as well as Algami Type Zero's essence, if you have them. This skill, instead of reducing your MP cost, it instead just acts as a reverse critical zealot. You deal about 30% more damage without a crit, but you deal less critical damage. I want to say it's 10%, but considering how much the damage drops off when you land a crit, I'm willing to bet that it's a bigger drop than 10%. Awakened Power makes its return from SMT4 Apocalypse and is the only Nahobino exclusive skill in this mod so far. This gives the MC Safeguard if he is nulled, drained, or repelled, then grants him the effect of Impaler's Animus. This is really good for setting up for OTKs, especially against bosses that have many resistances, specifically nulls, as it allows you to run into them without wasting the extra press turn of being nulled, and then with the extra 30% damage boost and the piercing effect, you can easily just run through a boss's HP fairly quickly if you run Omagatsuki Savage, Critical Zealot, and whatever strength-based skill you want that deals the most damage. Many of the boss demons also receive changes to their attack patterns and skills. True Lucifer, for one, now has access to new skills in his second form, such as Satanel's Sinful Shell, which is basically a near guaranteed crit Freikugel, and Vorpal Blade, which is a near guaranteed crit physical skill, both of which are very much capable of sending your entire party back to stock if you're not careful. Third phase Lucifer did not get any buffs specifically, but his God of skills were buffed. All of them minus Tornado of God can now pierce. Samael's Decidual Poison is now an almighty attack that hits 5 random enemies and has an 80% chance per hit to inflict poison. The level 99 Apsits in Taito now uses Pixie Alternate instead of the normal Pixie. Alilat now uses Osei Halal and Floros Halal instead of their regular variants. Nocturne reference! Demi-Fiend has replaced Cerberus, Jack Frost, and Parvati with Shiva, Vishnu, and Metatron respectively. These guys are immune to nearly everything in the game, so piercing skills are now a requirement for this fight. Masakado now has Heavenly Sword Strike, Recalcitrant Execution Power, and Crit Effect, Physical Element with Pierce, targets one enemy, removes all buffs, and gets weaker the less HP he has. In older versions of the mod, he had a small chance of inflicting Charm, Mirage, or Confusion on himself when using Diorama, which would further boost his crit power, but that has since been removed. Masakado wasn't already a pain in the rear, that giving him the ability to actively remove buffs and further increase his crit damage is just salt on the wound. Satan arguably got the biggest buff of them all. The demon allies he now summons are all endgame super powerful deities. Remember Titania and Haridi at the start? Well, how about you fight Mahakala and Arda instead? Some demons had to be nerfed because CC Sims saw my second showcase of the Satan fight and realized this fight was near impossible with all the resistances and the tiny fact that Arda could just reset the fight with Medea Rahan whenever they wanted. Even with less immunities and no ready access to healing, this fight is no joke as many of the demons actually attack you, and some have innates you must dance around or risk resetting the fight by accident. Satan could still plunder skills that heal him, so you do still have to choose between tanking a Vorpal Blade or letting him heal 70,000 HP. Future me here. Forgot to mention that Shiva's fight also got changed. Kali is now Kali Alternate, Ananta is now Kartikeya, Shiva's other son, and Dakini is now Sati, the pre-incarnation of Parvati. Tandava was also changed to be a strength-based attack as it can now critical hit you, but the description was not updated to reflect that. This mod is not finished as of this video's recording date and upload date, so there are many tweaks and changes that can happen over the course of this mod's development. While I personally have my complaints about this mod, the one common criticism I see whenever I do a showcase is about the mod's balance, or rather, its lack of balance. While CC Sims has made changes to demon skills and resistances to make them less powerful, there is still a noticeable gap in power and resistance between vanilla and modded demons. Take my girl Ganga, for example. She could be recruited in either Chiyoda or Shinjuku where the Lamia spawn, which isn't even that far in, especially in Shinjuku. She resists 3 elements, 1 ailment, and nulls 2 ailments. Sure, she has 2 weaknesses, but she learns one of her weakness blocks naturally. Many demons also resist physical, which is a meta trait from Liberator DX2 that is very powerful in SMTV, as demons that usually resist, null, drain, or repel physical have a lot of weaknesses to compensate that. But here, some demons just null physical with no weakness, literally, and some who don't even have physical attributes just resist physical. A lot of mid to end game demons have no weaknesses or are resisted to almost everything. A lot of the audio balancing is not very good, and some demons are just straight up deafening if they ever decide to speak. Though some demons have had their audio reduced, that doesn't change the fact that a lot of them are still extremely loud. And some of the skills will only work properly if you skip their animations, specifically Virtuous Prosperity and Goddess's Prank. Virtuous Prosperity will not trigger its MP and HP healing, and Goddess's Prank will not trigger its HP healing unless you skip their animations. Now, I probably know what you're all asking. Who is the strongest demon in this mod? Well, that answer is usually up for debate. Anything from Tiamat recycling press turns, to Guan Yu basically deleting HP for fun, to Izanami, who can just give you a -1 to all stats with a pierce move that has a small chance to crit. But none of that means anything compared to the actual best demon in the game. Panagia Armored Goddess Tao Isonokami, the true form of the creator goddess of law, fully voiced in Japanese and fully functional, a demon who everyone wishes was playable. This variant lost her light immunity and is now the neutral light alignment instead of the law light alignment, which means absolutely nothing because she is one of the most overpowered demons in the series. Radiant Mantra, Maria A's innate, allows her Light of Order to now function as a Mepatra, as any healing skill she uses will also cure ailments, requiring no setup for her to cure ailments when she goes for any healing skill. But that's not all. She also has the unique passive of Maria, added with Demon Expansion, Miracle of Fatima, which is a great life spring with the bonus of setting all ailment rates against her to 0%. It will only count as a null when she's hit with charm specifically. A support demon that is immune to every ailment in the game with only a dark weakness is one of the best possible resistances in the series.
But wait! There's more!
She learns what is arguably the most overpowered attacking skill in the game, Virtuous Prosperity, a piercing Hama-on with a chance to insta-kill on weakness exploit and heals HP and MP for all allies including self. At +9 light proficiency, this skill is 20 MP less than the 50 MP Tao recovers, since she can naturally get to 999 MP. Yeah, this is why Armored Tao is not playable. She is, in my opinion, with no debate, the best support demon in the game, and one of the best in the franchise. Sure, she can't pass on buffs, but she can repay the cost for others' buffs and is essentially an MP reserve with an unlimited supply. Oh, and Virtuous Prosperity works with Bowl of Hygeria and Heal Plemoris. This is the build I use for Tau. Light of Order for dealing with buffs and healing, Virtuous Prosperity for constant heal on HP and MP and her only attack option, Bowl of Hygeria to boost her healing skills power, Debilitate to soften up the enemy, Drain Dark for weakness block, Miracle of Fatima for the HP boost and status immunity, Boon Boost EX so Light of Order and Debilitate do not need to be spammed, and Heal Survivor to boost her healing's power even further and grant the Endure effect. I'm not sure how to make Tau any stronger than this. This covers all the corners you could think of when choosing a support bot or heal bot. If you could think of any other builds to make her stronger, feel free to type it out in the comment section. The only real downside to Armored Tau is that she is very expensive to summon. She requires Ame no Uzume and Maria as fusion materials. While Uzume is easy to summon, being an early game demon, Maria is not that easy to summon as she requires an item that Sophia gives the player once they reach 75% compendium completion. This involves doing a quest where you have to fight her in combat, and upon defeat you unlock her as a fusible demon. She is also level 83 compared to Tau's level 78, and the materials you need to fuse her are expensive, including other mother goddesses and the 4 Seraphim, and even Demeter or Metatron. On top of all of that, the side quest you need to defeat her on can only be reached on either canon's law route. But hey, one full game cycle to unlock one of the best support demons in Megaton history is a small price to pay. Amazing mod. Basically a $60 DLC paid for by donations and fan support. I didn't even touch on all of the new unique skills added with this mod, nor did I cover how all of the DX2 demons and some of the vanilla demons have had their models updated. This truly shows the potential Atlas and Sega missed with SMTV Vengeance. This mod gave me a reason to replay this game even after getting all of the achievements and having a 100% save file. To CC Sims, I salute you. May your project find completion, success, and accolades. Here's to a bright future. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I'd like to give a shout out to my very first channel member, Double J. I greatly appreciate your support. If you wish to support the channel directly or receive a shout out from me, consider also becoming a channel member. If you're more interested in the Demon Expansion mod, I will leave a link to the mod's homepage in the description and the pinned comment, and you can check out part 1 of my D-Mods showcase series right here. That's it for me. Have a good day, have a good night. Revisor, out.